A little while ago, I did a plain talking review of MPC's 148 scale Eagle transporter from the show Space 1999, and as I told you then, this is my all-time favourite spaceship. If you want to have a look at that review, if you've not already seen it, I'll put a link up there. It'll probably come up as a little eye. You can click on that, watch my review of the video, and then come back to here as we start doing the build. Hello, welcome back. It's the Adrian Project. I'm Adrian with a face for radio, and on today's episode we're going to be doing part one of my build for this very kit, MPC's 22-inch long Space 1999 Eagle transporter. So let's cue the music. Right, so as we kick off with the model build, and we'll look at part one on the instructions, and as you can see, it's telling you to put the transparent windows in. I'm going to leave this for a while because I wanted to do all the painting and the weathering on the nose cone before I put the glass in. That will be the last thing to go off, and then I say we're not going to be getting any paint or anything splattered all over the glass. So that moves on to section 2, and it's placing the two nose cone halves together. These two went very well together. I used a thicker, slower curing glue, Tamiya glue. This was just to make sure that it gave me some wiggle room, and then I just went round the outside with the extra thin just to tidy it up where any of the glue might have squidged through. And all these, the two halves were held together with some Tamiya tape until the glue had all been dried and set off hard, nice and lovely. Right, so here we are on the workbench, and as we said in the little clip before, we're looking at sections 1 and 2, and this is what we've come up with. I've now removed the tape, and as you can see, it's made a fair sizable little nose cone, command nose cone. I have tried on this section here to have a go at the seam line. I've only had a quick swipe of it with the sander at the moment, but how the plastic is on this kit, it's very, very easy to remove mould lines and seam lines. So there we go, that is sections 1 and 2, and it's like I said before, I haven't put the glass in. Two reasons: because one, I want to get the painting and weathering done on the outside, so that means I'm not going to get any of the paint on the glass, but also on the inside I am planning on using some luminous paint. Now, I've got this luminous paint with the model kit of the Revell Ghost ship, and I never used it. So I thought, I'm not great with the soldering iron, electronics or anything like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go around on the inside, avoiding the seams and any holes there. Put a bit of the paint in, you know, the glow in the dark paint, See if we can get a little bit of illumination in there that way. Might work, might not, but I'll give it a go. So there we go, there's the nose cone already made up. Now, like I say, this I'll be working on the seam line there, and then that is ready for priming, painting and weathering. So let's have a look at part 3 on the instructions. Moving on, we're on to section 3, and according to the instructions, that's fitting the back to the cockpit interior and detailing and everything, and sticking the two little figures on. First off though, what I found on my copy was a little hole in the back plate. Now I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be there or not, so I went on to eModel's video and had noticed on their copy that hole shouldn't have been there, so I filled it with a little bit of Tamiya thinner, and then of course those two sections were glued together, held together with a bit of tape, and also put in the two little pylons that hold the figures on. Part 4 is having you putting the whole two assemblies together onto the back onto the nose cone, but this is all going to be left until I've painted and weathered all inside. Okay, moving on to section 5 of the instructions, and this is fitting the docking clamps on that hold the nose cone onto the main fuselage. As you can see on this bit, pretty straightforward build. It's just putting all the 4, like I say, docking clamps onto the back of the nose cone. The slots are there are big enough. Just make sure you clean up any nubs, because I did notice the nubs where they were removed from the sprue were sort of interfering a little bit with the fit, so make sure everything's all sanded down nice and flush. And that concluded building on part 5. Right, okay, so as I said, a little bit of a moulding mishap. I did have a hole in the back there on the back part, but I filled it with Tamiya. I'm now going to go over it with some Vallejo white filler just to level it off and smooth it, and then the job's a good one. Like I say, I'd used this part B9 as a dry fit. Oops, there we go, just as a dry fit, just to make sure that these securing braces here were in the correct place, in the right angle and everything. So I say it was just a quick dry fit. There we go, like that. So I know they are now all in the right place, and I can take that off. Both these can be primed and painted separately, because what I'm planning on doing is having a go at some of those grey weathering squares on there, see how it comes out, and if it looks okay, then I'll be doing it on the rest of the model, because like I say, I don't have an airbrush, so I'm going to have to hand paint them. I think basically it's going to be more dry brushing than actual painting, just to get, you know, that weathered look and a bit of contrast instead of it being stark white. I'll say those two bits are all glued together. I've glued on the attachments for the two pilots. There are ejector pin marks on these two parts, but I'll put them on the inside. I don't think you're going to see them. The two pilots haven't been glued on yet, because I want to paint those separately. But then, of course, when everything's painted, I will be oops, this is what I'm saying about my shakes. There we go. I'll be gluing those two little chaps on there. What I have noticed is I did try to dry fit that part in there, and it is a really tight fit. I'm not going to force it on, because I don't want to be forcing it on to the nose cone and then not being able to get it off. So I can paint it so that will be onto the nose cone after it's all been painted and weathered. Like I said, glue is optional for this step. If it goes on as well as I think it's going to go on, because this is really, really a tight fit, then I don't think we're going to need glue, and I don't think we need any filler. So that is parts sections 3 and 4 on the instructions. Part 4 was putting this into the, like I say, it's all going to wait until I painted it. Right, so that of course was section 5. So that will be moving on to section 6 and the pylons across the spine of the spaceship. And this just leaves doing section 6. It's fitting together parts F42 and F43, which make up the pylons along the spine of the Eagle. You have to make 2 sets of these. Glue them together, make sure they are flat. You do them on a flat surface and leave them then for at least, I'd say, 24 hours to dry before you touch them. Just make sure that they are flat, flush together, and you won't have any problems. And there we have part 6 done. As per the instructions, it says you glue these together and then let them dry. I did this on the day before I went to work, so these have been glued together. Today is Bank Holiday Monday. I went to work Thursday night, so it's been all Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's been 3 days gluing, so they are well and truly glued together. This is 370 millimeters, 37 centimeters, so that's well over a foot long just for those parts there. Before I did actually glue them all together, I went along all the edges inside and out to get rid of the moulding lines. And I say the plastic on it is smooth enough that you know, just go along as I do. I just go down with the blade, and then when that's done, letting the sander do all the work. Just go over, get it smooth over like that. Because it's a curved edge, go with the curve, don't just go across flat. And like I say, don't put no pressure on, just let the sander do the work, backwards and forwards, and just like silly bang, the mould line is gone. So I've done that on both of those sections. They are now totally dry, and that is the completed model up to part 6. So there we go. Right, so like I say, I'm going to be taking my time over this kit. No point in rushing. I want this to come out looking absolutely the best I can. So like I say, trying to keep all these videos in bite-sized chunks, so I'm not going to be racing on and doing too much all at once. I've seen some awesome builds online, and they do hour-and-a-half videos, and I don't know about you, but after about 20-25 minutes I'm fast forwarding. But there we go. So this is how far I've got already. I've done the first 6 sections, sort of. I know there's some silver parts to go in onto the top of there. Not too sure what they were for, whether they were docking rings or whatever. But like I say, I'm going to wait and paint those, and they'll be glued on last after I've painted and weathered the nose cone. So they will be the last things to be glued on. So there we go. That's part 1 of my Space 1999 Eagle Transporter build, all over and done with. And that's the end of yet another episode. I hope you all enjoyed that one. If you did, and you haven't done so already, could you please remember to subscribe to my channel. At the moment, I'm aiming to get 1,000 subscribers, and as soon as I hit that 1,000th subscriber mark, I will donate at least £20 to Macmillan Nurses here in the UK. For those of you living outside of the UK and you don't know who the Macmillan Nurses are, They are there to help everyone with cancer live life as fully as they can, providing physical, financial and emotional support. I myself have had their services firsthand and I can tell you they are exceptional. A lot of the time they do have to rely on public donations, so if you'd like to find out more about Macmillan nurses, or in fact give a little donation yourself, then please visit www.macmillan.org.uk. Okay, I'd like to thank you all again for watching. It's very, very much appreciated. Don't forget, you can still follow me on Facebook and on Twitter if that's going to be easy for you. And here's to seeing you all again on the next episode of the Adrian Bout Project.